right, and welcome to your second lesson of the year. We are on lesson 2, even and odd numbers. Please make sure that you have your math composition notebook out and you are ready to take some notes and write down some example problems in your notebook, so you have a reference to go back as we move forward through the lessons. If you get stuck, you know where to go to find some help. Okay, here we go. Math lesson 2, even and odd numbers. Yesterday we learned about the counting numbers and all the numbers that we say starting at 1 going on to infinity. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and continuing on, those are our counting numbers. Whole numbers are actually going to be all the counting numbers, but we're actually going to add a 0. So whole numbers are all the counting numbers plus 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just continuing on. Those are our whole numbers. So you can go ahead and write down whole numbers and explain what they are. You can pause the video if you need to and take your notes and then press play when you're ready to resume. We're going to continue on. If we're starting at 0 and counting up by 2s, the sequence would be 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and keep going on. Now this is a special sequence making numbers that are even numbers. Remember, a sequence is a group of numbers that has a recognizable pattern, and this definitely is going up by 2. That's a recognizable pattern, and these are the even numbers. Any even number is a number that ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. And even numbers can always be divided into 2 equal groups with a whole number. There are no fractions involved when we are splitting up even numbers into 2 equal groups. So if I look at the number 4, I could divide 4 into 2 equal groups of 2. 12 is an even number. My last digit is a 2. I know that a number is even if it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, and there's my 2. So this is an even number. This can actually be divided into 2 equal groups of 6. And the last number over here, 26, well, last digit is a 6. And I see a 6 in my list of numbers that tell me if it's even. So 26 can be divided into 2 equal groups, and I can do that into 2 equal groups of 13. So because it's an even number, it can be divided into 2 equal groups. Any even number can be divided into 2 equal groups. Continuing on, if a whole number is not even, it's odd. Well, we learned about the even numbers. The even numbers end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So if a number does not end in one of these, excuse me, it is an odd number. Odd numbers end with the digits 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. You guys, this is something that I think you should have in your notes. Even numbers end in these numbers here. Odd numbers will end in these numbers here. Okay, now let's read this question. Which of these numbers is not odd? Okay, what I want you to really focus on when we're reading questions is we have to focus in on what it's actually saying. And here it's saying which of these numbers is not odd. Well, if a number is not odd, what is it? Well, we know if it's not odd, it's going to be an even. So this is really telling me which of these numbers are even. Well, I can look at the last digit in each of these numbers, and I know that even numbers end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. This number ends in a 6. This number is not odd. Therefore, it's an even number. 654,321. Well, this ends in a 1. I see that odd numbers end in 1. So this is not an even number. 353,535. My 5 is part of the sequence that ends in 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, because there's my 5. That is not an even number. Again, please pause this if you want to go over it again and rewind. Make sure that we can understand what we're learning. All right, and this one right here, I show some cookies. Who does not love cookies? Chocolate chip cookies are my favorite. And this is just a reminder that half of an even number is a whole number. Half of an even number is a whole number. If I have 4 cookies, I can actually put them into 2 groups of 2. Half of an odd number will always end in a whole number and a half. So if I have 3 cookies and I want to split it with a friend, I know that I can give 1 cookie to myself and I can give 1 cookie to my friend. And this cookie here, I'm actually going to have to split it in half. So we would each get 1.5 cookies. So half of an odd number will always end in a whole number and then a half. We each got 2 cookies up in this one because it was even. It could evenly be divided into 2. All right, on page 113, you actually have a chart, and the chart in your book goes up higher than 4. For sake of room, I just put 1 through 4. And this just shows you what half of these counting numbers are. So half of 1 is 1/2. Half of 2 is 1. Half of 3 is 1.5. Half of 4 is 2. And do you recognize the pattern that I have with the red numbers here? I go up half, 1, 1.5, 2. If I had the counting number 5, what would my half be? 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2. Well, half of 5 would be 2.5. And what would half of 6 be? Well, that would be 3. You can refer back to this because you're going to get lots of questions over the next month or so where you're going to have to figure out halves of certain numbers, and this will help you. So let's go ahead and look at this table here. This is a table that shows the number of tickets. Okay, 1 ticket, 2 ticket, 3 ticket, 4 ticket. The bottom shows me the cost. So 1 ticket is $7. 2 tickets are $14. 3 tickets are $21, and 4 tickets are $28. It says describe the relationship between the number of tickets and the cost. Well, as I look through this, 1 ticket is 7, 2 tickets is 14. So if 1 ticket is 7 and I have 2, 7 plus 7 is 14, or 2 tickets times 7 is 14. So the relationship between the number of tickets and the costs, I could just say something really simple, like each ticket costs $7. That's pretty easy for us to figure out there. Let's go ahead and take this information and we're actually going to do something else. We're going to write a rule that will help us figure out the cost of any number of tickets. So as I'm looking to figure out a rule, let me erase that, guys. Sorry about that. As I'm looking to figure out a rule, I know that 1 ticket is $7. Okay, 1 ticket is 7. I know that 2 tickets is 14, and so on and so forth. Write a rule that describes how to find the cost of any number of tickets. So there's a few ways we can do this. The way that I like to explain it, and this actually is going to prepare you for some more algebraic equations that we're going to do coming up. But if I wanted to name the number of tickets as t, Let's call the tickets T, and I'm going to call the cost C. I could actually say that a rule that describes how to find the cost of any number of tickets, I could take any number of tickets, which is T, okay, and I could multiply that by $7, and that is going to give me the cost. So the total number of tickets times $7 equals the cost. And let's look and see if this works. The total number of tickets here is 2, so I'm going to go ahead and insert some of this into my equation down here. The total number of tickets is 2 times $7. And what's that going to equal? Well, 2 times $7, that equals $14. Let's see if I'm correct. 2 times 7 equals $14. Let's go ahead and try it again for this 3 here. If I have the total number of tickets, I'm going to rewrite it over here. 3 times $7 is going to equal my cost. Well, 3 times 7 is $21. And 3 tickets cost $21. So let's go ahead. What is the cost of 10 tickets? Go ahead and try to do this on your own. You can pause the video before I help explain it. So using our equation T, and instead of the times, I can actually put a little dot. That actually means multiply. T times $7 equals the cost. Well, how many tickets do I have? I have 10 tickets. So let's go ahead and I'll say 10 times $7 equals, well, 10 times 7, that's going to equal $70. That would be my final answer for the cost of 10 tickets. And we will be doing some more work on using tables and how to find rules. So don't worry if it's a little fuzzy, but please go ahead and rewind the video and look at what we're doing and see if you can't begin to understand that. Next up, describe each number as odd or even. Well, we learned how to tell if a number is odd or even earlier in our lesson, and I'm going to write a little cheat sheet up here. We remember that odd numbers end in 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. And we learned that even numbers end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So to find out if a number is odd or even, we just need to look at the last number in each digit. So I'm going to underline the last number in each digit. And 0, okay, well, even numbers begin in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So this number is going to be even. 13,798 ends in an 8. My even numbers end in 8. This is also an even number. 17 ends with the digit 7. Hey, that belongs to my odd group. So that's an odd number. 123, 3 is also in my odd group. And the number 910, it ends in 0. Hey, if it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, it's even. So this number will be even. Moving right along. All students in the class were separated into 2 groups. The same number of students were in each group. Was the number of students in the class an even or an odd number? Explain why. Well, we remember earlier in the lesson that we said that all even numbers can be divided into 2 equal groups. So, was the number of students in class an even or an odd number? Well, it tells me that I had the same number of students in each group. So it doesn't matter how many students are in the class. If I have the same number in each group, that number is going to be even. And I'll explain why in my answer. And I'll say even And I'll go ahead and say because any even number can, whoops, any even number, whoops, erase that. Can be divided into two equal groups. Okay. Bill has 7 apples, and he wants to and he wants to share with his friend. How many apples will each get? Well, if you don't remember how it's going to divide out with an odd number, we know that even numbers are divided into 2 equal groups, and odd numbers are going to be divided into a equal groups with a whole number and a half. We can always draw out our apples, and we can give 1 to Bill, and we can give 1 to his friend. I can give another 1 to Bill, and another 1 to his friend. Another 1 to Bill, and another 1 to his friend. But I've got 1 apple left. So the best thing I can do then is to cut that apple in half, and I know that Bill will get 3.5 apples, and I know that his friend will get 3.5 apples. And remember, I'm going to scroll back up on page 113, or excuse me, on page 13 of your book, we actually showed that the table has the counting numbers and what half is. And we went up to 6 right here. If I had 7, half of 7 is going to be 2.5, 3, 3.5. So we remember just using the table and the pattern that we followed that that's actually going to make sense for us. And they each will get 3.5 apples. And that is it. That's all, folks. Please make sure that you watch this video before you do your work, and make sure that you, in your answers on our Google form, please use numbers only. Do not label your answers. Do not write any words. And we'll go ahead and see you guys on Wednesday for our live meeting. If you have any questions in the meantime, please make sure that you reach out to Mr. Brunig, and I'll be able to answer any questions that you have. Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day, and good luck on your work.